Dangerous detergent. Is my laundry detergent toxic? Well, let me cut right to the chase. Yes, probably, unless you're using something very particular. But the typical laundry detergent is absolutely toxic. And your laundry room is quite possibly the most toxic room in your house. It gives, if you have a garage, it gives the garage a run for its money. So let's talk about this a little bit. This is from an article published on a website called branchbasics.com. Have you ever walked around your neighborhood and noticed that fresh smell of someone doing laundry? Bad news. When you breathe in that clean, quote, familiar scent, you're actually getting a lungful of toxic chemicals. Is laundry detergent toxic? When scented laundry detergents and fabric softeners are used, dryer vents emit more than 25 volatile organic compounds per load, many of which are classified as hazardous air pollutants. If the dryer vent is blocked, or if it doesn't vent to the outside, then the indoor air pollution skyrockets when the dryer is in use. If the vent is not blocked to the outdoors, then the air in your neighborhood ends up getting polluted with VOCs, volatile organic compounds. So the truth is those laundry chemicals you use impact the air quality in your house, your home, and even in the outdoor air around your home. It's only a small amount of detergent, right? Since the average family in the United States washes about 80 pounds of laundry a week with 1/2 cup of detergent per load, an average of 4 cups of detergent per home ends up in the waterways and affecting air quality each week. Each piece of laundry you pull out of the washing machine contains toxic residues from detergents, which not only linger in the fabric, but run off and are absorbed by your skin. Conventional detergents are comprised of a concoction of fragrances, endocrine disruptors, neurotoxins, and potent cancer-causing chemicals. Most detergents have signature fragrances, which are designed to impregnate and stay in clothes. That's not natural. The unscented versions add masking chemicals which simply cover up the fragrance with another chemical. Your laundry room may well be the most toxic room in your home once these chemicals become airborne when washing and drying your clothes. This is a major problem in light of the fact that scientists are directly linking the alarming rise of degenerative disease in America to exposure to chemicals in our homes and workplaces. I'm going to repeat that. Scientists are directly linking the alarming rise of degenerative diseases in America to exposure to chemicals in our homes and workplaces. So, there is an alarming rise in degenerative diseases, and scientists are linking that alarming rise to exposure to toxic chemicals in our homes, with laundry soap being one of the primary sources. Consider that the American Cancer Society, that highly conservative organization that's designed to take your money, states that today, 2018, 1 in 3 men and 1 in 2 women will have cancer in their lifetime. After accidents, cancer is now the second leading cause of death in children. You repeat that. Cancer is now the second leading cause of death in children, and exposure to chemicals in our homes is a leading factor. Now, why aren't we learning this? Why aren't we hearing this about this every day? Well, it's obvious. Procter & Gamble basically owns television. Johnson & Johnson practically owns television. They are not going to tolerate this information being put on television or radio or the newspaper or magazines. That is never going to happen. So I'm going to continue. Taking a look at the products we use is a first step to reducing our exposures to these chemicals. All laundry detergent ingredients can potentially be absorbed through the skin or breathed in through the nose, as well as passed down the drain to damage aquatic life in our waterways. Since government agencies do not regulate harmful chemicals in cleaning products, let me repeat that, no government agency regulates the chemicals in cleaning products. It is time to open our eyes to toxic blind spots and start making healthier choices. We have the power to remove products with harmful ingredients from our homes. This is a simple one to fix. We can't shut down the coal plant, can't shut down the nuclear power plant, can't shut down the chemical factory, but we can stop bringing toxic chemicals into our homes, coating our clothes in them, and then putting those toxin-soaked clothes on our skin. We can do that. We can stop doing that right now. So take charge, protect your family, and make a commitment to only bring in health-promoting products. So how did we get here? Prior to World War I, people around the world used pure soap to do their laundry. So that would be, depending on how old you are, your grandparents or your great-grandparents, or if you're really young, your great-great-grandparents, people who did not have cancer at the rate we have it today. In 1916, driven by the war-related shortages of fats and oils, Germany, the land of chemicals, developed the first synthetic detergent to be used for laundry and dishwashing. In the United States, efforts to create detergents for household use by companies like Procter & Gamble started in the early 1930s. Detergents did not start to displace soap in the U.S. until the end of World War II, when, like in Germany in World War I, the fats and oils in soap making were in short supply. These fats and oils were more useful for manufacturing explosives. This is another cost of the war economy. So we went from healthy, non-toxic ingredients to clean our clothes to highly toxic, cancer-causing ingredients to clean our clothes. Why? Because we needed the fats and oils to build bombs. Scientists at that time discovered that they could make thousands of petrochemicals, synthetic chemicals derived from petroleum, that could be used to replace natural ingredients. After the war, many factories were converted for civilian use, and a petroleum-based chemical, tetrapropylene, was used in the creation of laundry detergents. By the 1950s, detergents almost completely replaced soap as the first choice in America for doing laundry. Most detergents available today are loaded with harmful petrochemicals and are undermining our health. Now, when did cancer start taking off? You can look at the chart. It hit, someone put the foot on their gas starting in the 1950s, and it's been accelerating ever since. Just detergent? No. But the use of petrochemicals in everyday products is when the acceleration of cancer began. Reading labels does not have to be complicated. Look for the words caution, warning, or danger on the box or bottle. These words, especially warning and danger, are a giveaway that there are potential toxic chemicals in the product. It's best to simply remove the product from your home. Also, look for common precautionary statements like eye, skin, or lung irritant. For the most part, these precautionary labels signal the presence of toxic chemicals. If in doubt, get them out. So it's really kind of a code. They say, well, you know, if you get it in your eyes or get it in your lungs, on your skin, it might irritate you. That's code. For this stuff is poison. By the way, as a sidebar, next time you're at the post office, look at the poster in the post office that tells you what you're not allowed to ship. You're not allowed to ship perfume. You're not allowed to ship paint. There's a lot of things you can't ship. Why? Because they're hazardous to postal employees. Why? Because they're really toxins. Anyway, let's go on. Dig deeper to be in the know. We pulled together a glossary of toxic red flags that are commonly found in laundry detergents and fabric softeners. Not only are these chemicals potentially damaging, not potentially, they are damaging to your health, they are also contaminating waterways and harming the environment. Hey, I care about the environment as much as anybody else, but let's get real here. If you're putting something on your skin that's causing neurodegenerative diseases or cancer, that's the focus. And the interesting thing is once you stop poisoning yourself, you're automatically going to stop poisoning the environment. Also, this is very important. Remember, the single word fragrance in any ingredient list, that includes perfume and cosmetics, can include over 1,000 different ingredients. Manufacturers of cosmetics and cleaning products are allowed to hide certain substances under the umbrella of fragrance. So fragrance doesn't mean they went out and they picked a flower and threw it in the vat. Okay, so synthetic fragrances. Fragrance is mentioned first because hundreds of synthetic chemicals are hidden in, quote, trade secret, unquote, fragrance recipes that do not have to be disclosed or tested. Okay, so anytime you see the word fragrance, it is a block from you knowing what the actual chemical is, and you can be sure that that chemical has never been tested. According to the Environmental Working Group, which is a great organization, EWG, fragrances are considered to be among the top 5 allergens and can trigger asthma attacks. And that's just the beginning. Testing by EWG also revealed that 75% of, quote, fragrances contain phthalates. Phthalates have been linked to diabetes, obesity, and other hormone disruption diseases which affect both development and fertility. So imagine you're cleaning clothes for a baby in this toxic waste, and then those clothes are wrapped around that baby, and he or she is absorbing that stuff 24/7. This not in this article, by the way. Something you have to use your own imagination to think about. Is it any wonder that kids are getting sicker and sicker and sicker? That chronic disease among the young is skyrocketing? Mount Sinai Hospital Children's Environmental Health Center has linked exposure to synthetic fragrance in first and third trimester prenatal exposure to ADHD and autism. So pregnant women, they clean their clothes in this garbage, and they're wearing the clothes, and it's getting absorbed into their skin, it's going into their blood system, and it's going right into the blood system of their fetuses. So maybe old people marching around to protect fetuses could get interested in that. Of course, we know that will never happen. All right, natural fragrances. Natural fragrance doesn't necessarily mean safe. In a study of analyzing 25 top-selling products, those with so-called organic and natural fragrances emitted just as many hazardous chemicals as conventional products with fragrance. So if you suspected that those organic and natural labels were total bullshit, your suspicions were correct. Most natural fragrance / essential oils and detergents are processed with solvents because it is less expensive than distillation. In other words, they do it the cheap and dirty way. They're not putting fine, refined, distilled French essential oils in the products they're selling you. They're putting in solvent-created essential oils. The VOCs from the solvents were present in every product tested in the study. So if they use solvents to pull out the essential oils, those solvents, which are petrochemicals, are going into the laundry soap, going into the cloth, going into the skin, and going into your blood system and finding their way into all your different organs, your liver, your kidney, your brain, your lungs, your heart. And imagine the damage that does to an infant or a small child. In addition, linoneem and other terpenes such as pine and citrus oil react with ozone in the surrounding air to create secondary pollutants such as formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acetone, and ultrafine particles. These can be particularly an issue on high ozone alert days. Now, here's something I didn't know, and I got conned. Unscented detergents. Be aware that unscented versions of products are typically the same as the fragranced version. They don't have a scent thanks to an additional masking chemical. Okay, optical brighteners. Most laundry detergents contain optical brighteners, which are formulated to intentionally remain in the clothes. They leave a residue on the clothes that reflects light and makes the clothes look brighter with more vivid colors. These toxic chemicals are constantly in contact with the skin and are breathed in through the lungs. Optical brighteners have the capacity to make skin become photoreactive and more sensitive to sun exposure. Many people develop sun irritation, skin irritation, and rashes from exposure to optical brighteners, not to mention they are toxic to fish and cause bacterial mutations. Now I'm going to struggle to pronounce this, but we'll try. Nonylphenol ethoxylates, NPEs. This group of inexpensive, non-ionic, surfactant petroleum chemicals has already been banned. This stuff's banned in Canada and the European Union, but it's still found in the good old USA. NPAs are endocrine disruptors that adversely affect physical function and fetal development. Infants and children are especially vulnerable to these chemicals, which are known to adversely affect neurological, immune, cardiac, kidney, and liver function as well. The Sierra Club has a nickname for NPEs, the gender bender chemical. NPEs are frequently considered to be biodegradable, but the truth is they slowly biodegrade into even more toxic compounds, profoundly interfering with the hormones of fish and shellfish, which you'll later eat. Even Walmart has listed NPEs as one of the 3 chemicals they're asking suppliers to phase out. Let's rewind that. Walmart, which sells garbage from every corner of the world without consideration for the health effect it has on human beings, is worried enough about this stuff that they're asking suppliers, asking nicely, we're asking nicely, to phase it out. In other words, it may take 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years to phase it out. So it's so bad that even Walmart's concerned. Okay, bleach, aka sodium hypochlorite. Bleach is involved in more household poisonings than any other chemical. Sodium hypochlorite and other cleaning chemicals such as fragrances and surfactants react to generate chlorinated VOCs, which are very toxic and are considered human carcinogens. Chlorinated compounds are admitted use. As it flows down the drain, bleach can produce organochlorines, which are endocrine disruptors, neurotoxic, and carcinogenic. Bleach is not only harmful to health, but also degrades both synthetic and natural fibers reducing their longevity. By the way, you can use white vinegar to do a lot of what bleach does. It's actually, this is tragic. A lot of people after a flood will scrape their houses with Clorox, bleach. Doesn't work. It's ineffective. Highly toxic. Makes money for Clorox, but it's ineffective. White vinegar does a superior, vastly superior job. All right, I'm going to struggle with this one too. Linear alkyl benzene sulfonates, LAS. These synthetic petrochemicals are normally listed as anionic surfactants on labels and are one of the most common surfactants in use. During their production process, carcinogenic and reproductive toxins such as benzene are released into the environment. They also biodegrade slowly, making them a hazard in the environment. The amount of LAS used in detergents may vary to as high as, you ready for this? 30% of the total weight of the product. So this stuff releases benzenes when it's made, and it degrades. When it biodegrades, it leaves an even more hazardous chemical. And it's possibly using 1/3. It's possibly 30% of the weight of the detergent you're using. Phosphates. Phosphates are the main cleaning ingredient in many detergents and household cleaners because they break down dirt particles and remove stains by softening the water and allowing suds to form, which enhances the cleaning power of the detergent. However, there are human health problems as well as major environmental hazards associated with phosphates. Phosphate residues on items that have been cleaned with phosphate-containing detergents have been known to cause nausea, diarrhea, and skin irritation. Phosphates are persistent, too. They remain active even after wastewater treatment processes and end up in rivers and lakes, where they act as a toxic fertilizer. In the water system, they increase algae growth and suffocate salmon and other aquatic life, literally starving them of oxygen. As the algae die, they release poisons that further deplete the waterways of oxygen. That's phosphates. Here's something you'll see a lot on shampoos, all kinds of personal care products and detergents. Sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, and sodium laureth sulfate, SLES, and ammonium lauryl sulfate, ALS, are commonly used in many detergents and act as surfactants and emulsifiers, giving the detergent foaming abilities. Over 16,000 research studies on SLS have shown links to irritation of the skin and eyes, organ toxicity, developmental reproductive toxicity, neurotoxicity, endocrine disruption, ectotoxicology, and biochemical or cellular changes, and even cancer. Thank you, Procter & Gamble. Can you take more? I mean, I hope it's clear. You got to be getting your laundry detergent from health food stores, and you have to be very sensible even about buying it there. You cannot be buying the Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson supermarket trash. Okay, 1,4-dioxin, also called dioxin or diethylene oxide. Dioxin is a byproduct of ethoxylation, an inexpensive shortcut process companies use to produce softer, sudsier detergents. It's not even added intentionally, but is an extremely common ingredient in detergents, appearing in about 2/3 of laundry products studied. Since it's a byproduct rather than an ingredient, it doesn't have to be listed on product labels. Okay? I cannot stress this enough to you, even if you're savvy. and you read the labels and you know what everything in that garbage is. They can have things in food products, in personal care products, in laundry products that aren't even listed. Now, the state of California considers it a cancer-causing substance, can be toxic to your brain and central nervous system, kidney, liver, and respiratory system. The U.S. federal regulation system considers dioxin's potency to be equivalent to or greater than many pesticides dangerous to humans. Detergents contaminated with 1,4-dioxane may have traces of other contaminants, including formaldehyde, nitrosamines, and phthalates. The National Institute of Health, NIH, considers even trace amounts to be cause for concern, and the EPA has classified dioxin as a Class B possible carcinogen. And do you remember what I said earlier? It's in 2/3 of all laundry products. When you use a laundry detergent contaminated with dioxin, it goes everywhere. It never breaks down. Water filters can't remove it, and it isn't biodegradable. To avoid 1,4-dioxane, the Organic Consumer Association, OCA, recommends avoiding products with indications of ethocylation. Look for the following suffixes in the ingredient lists. And again, they're all about tricking you. So if you see something called myrrh, olith, laureth, cetiareth, anything with an ETH, that's a warning sign. PEG, a warning sign. Polyethylene, polyethylene glycol, polyoxethylene, warning sign. Oxanol, sodium laureth, sodium sulfate, which you will find, I believe, in your shampoo. Petroleum distillates, aka naphthas. These are solvents used to dissolve dirt, grease, grime, and they have been linked to mucous membrane damage, lung damage, and inflammation, asthma, and cancer. They are derived from synthetic crude oil. And last but not least, phenols. Phenol is recognized as being so toxic that people who are hypersensitive to it could experience death or serious side effects at very low exposures. It is rapidly absorbed and can cause toxicity throughout the entire body, wreaking havoc on the central nervous system, heart, blood vessels, lungs, and kidneys. Now, here's the conclusion. Don't let this laundry list of chemicals leave you feeling overwhelmed and concerned for your health and the health of your family. There are easy steps you can take to immediately improve your air quality and the nature of the toxins that are on your skin. We recommend starting with 3 simple changes to protect your family's health and environment. Always read your labels. Ditch any products with harmful ingredients, and replace what you need with safer products. Now, I'm not really wanting to do a pitch for this company, but since they are taking the time to explain to us what is healthy and what is unhealthy, I will tell you that you should look into their products. And it's called Branch Basics. B-A-R-N-C-H, B-A-S-I-C-S, Branch Basics. And they have a number of different products, but you could probably find other products too with research. But you've got to know, the supermarket, everything in there is toxic garbage. So you're not going to find anything safe or healthy in the laundry section of the supermarket, except for baking soda and some other products. And I'm drawing a blank. Well, white vinegar and borax, believe it or not. Those are old school cleaning methods that are a lot less dangerous, or not even a fraction as dangerous as laundry soap. So, you know, we're seeing an explosion of all kinds of degenerative diseases. diabetes, cancer, neurodegenerative diseases. Where are they coming from? Well, people say the air we breathe, the air in your house. Air pollution in your house can be 6 to 10 times the worst air pollution outside your house. So I hope this has alerted you, maybe alarmed you, but hopefully informed you that these things are not a joke. They're not trivial. They're not to be taken lightly. We are not being protected. We are not being informed. We are being actively lied to. These are multi-billion-dollar markets. And these companies like Procter & Gamble own the news media. So you will never hear about any of this from the mainstream news media. So share this recording with people. Do your own research. And you may find all kinds of minor problems you've had start to clear up when you get these toxins out of your house.